YouTube, what it do? It's your boy, King Zay, back in the stew, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me put on my Heat hat, man. You dig, man? Heat and 7, man. Y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? I should post this today. You know what I'm saying? Games. If I'm posting this, hopefully I'm hoping the Heat win, man. Today is Game 7, Boston versus Miami, man. Jimmy Buckets, man. I hope you get right. So in honor of Game 7, man, in honor of also that 47-point game he had last game, we finna watch how this homeless man, aka Jimmy Butler, you know what I'm saying? Jimmy Get Buckets Butler became an NBA star. Before we get into the video, make sure y'all leave a like. Without further ado, let's get straight into it.
This man made it to the NBA, even though he was homeless. How could someone go from living on the street to signing $100 million deals and becoming one of the NBA's biggest stars? Well, this is the story of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy's the last person you'd expect to have been homeless, because he was just an innocent kid growing up in one of Texas's richest cities. But at just 13 years old, his life came crashing down. Out of nowhere, Jimmy's dad abandoned his family.
Hey, y'all don't know Jimmy's dad is what's the name though? It all makes sense though. Jimmy Butler's dad is Michael Jordan. And so when he was playing the Houston Rockets, he smashed a female in Houston, obviously. And Jimmy Buckets came about, you know what I'm saying?
With no explanation. And since Jimmy looked just like the father that betrayed the family, Jimmy's mother just couldn't stand looking at his face. So eventually she snapped at Jimmy and said, "I don't like the way you look. You gotta go," and kicked him to the streets.
My mom kicked me out of my house, to tell the truth. I bounced in and out of guys' houses in high school.
Now you'd think a teenager forced to figure out life for himself would be hard enough, but Jimmy's obstacles toward NBA stardom were about to get even harder. See, any day he couldn't crash at his friend's house, he'd just roam the streets. And being homeless in the Texas heat would be brutal for anybody, but especially Jimmy. And living like that forced him to make a life-changing decision.
So I was always a big football fan. You know, being from Texas, football is big. I think basketball made me third. But then I wasn't a fan of the sun, wasn't a fan of the heat. Plus, I was tiny. Everybody else started growing. I was like, I don't want to get crushed. I'm going to move inside to the AC, shoot at the orange rim.
At the time, Jimmy didn't realize just how significant switching sports would become. But he wasted no time signing up for basketball at Tomball High School, where he vowed to become a star athlete. And during his senior year, Jimmy began his basketball career, which led him to making his new best friend, Jordan Leslie.
You know what's crazy? I think they're going to say that Jimmy Butler went to JUCO before he went to Marquette. If I think I'm right about that.
But little did Jimmy know, they were about to become family.
I mean, I was always like, man, you can stay tonight. My mom won't care. And then I'd just be like, just one more night. And it just kind of developed into a week and then a month.
Jimmy finally found himself a permanent home. But more importantly, he felt love and support. Jimmy knew this family took a risk bringing a stranger into their lives. So he couldn't let them down. And for the first time in Jimmy's life, he had hope. His basketball days were only beginning.
I might cry, man.
Yet he instantly set a goal most kids could only dream of, making the NBA. But Jimmy was determined. And that year the journey started off strong, because he committed to playing basketball for Tyler Junior College.
He went JUCO and still made it to the NBA, man. That just show you right there, man. Even though, you know, I say he is 6'6", let's not act like that don't play a factor. But still, man, if you really want it, bro, you can do it, bro. You just gotta put your mind to it.
I remember the first time walking down this bad baby. I know I ended the game with 33 points. And with that 33 points, I was asking myself, is this real? Can I really score 33 points on a nightly basis? And then the next time I came out, 35 points. So I knew that I belonged here. This is where it started for me.
Now, I don't know about you, but dropping 30 points a night sounds good to me. But see, Jimmy was only dominating players in junior college, and doing things at that level meant little to nothing. Jimmy knew if he wanted to accomplish his NBA dreams, he had to step up his game and be recruited to a top-ranked university. But right then and there, Jimmy realized his goals were even harder than he imagined, because Jimmy already had a star teammate who was attracting scouts for himself. So with Jimmy knowing he had to compete with his own teammate for the spotlight, he began doubting he'd ever go pro.
And I was like, man, can I really compete with the best of these guys? You know, if you pass the ball, you might not get the ball. Like everybody trying to get to the next level.
Jimmy knew that with so much competition on the team, he already couldn't afford making a single mistake, especially since his star teammate, who was already committed to Marquette University, was bringing in attention from coaches. And Jimmy knew Marquette's assistant coach, Buzz Williams, always showed up. So Jimmy was determined to make him realize they were choosing the wrong guy.
Buzz came in, he was assistant at Marquette under Crean at the time. And he comes up to me and he's like, you know what, if I ever had a head coaching job, like, you would be a player that I would want to come, you to come play for me.
Now, even though Buzz wanted Jimmy to come to Marquette, everything had to fall into place. And one day out of nowhere, Jimmy's phone rang.
I'm the first person he calls, like, he always had told me the truth and all of this. So, you know, without even visiting, I went to Marquette.
It was official. Jimmy accomplished his first goal and was now heading to the University of Marquette. But this was just...
Look at that boy head, though.
Jimmy accomplished his first goal and was now heading...
Boy, I pawn that little cranium you got, boy.
...to the University of Marquette. But this was just a small step in the right direction. Jimmy knew the competition here was fierce. The stakes were high, and if he wanted to elevate to the next level, he couldn't be average. But even though Jimmy wanted to make the NBA, so did all of his new teammates.
Of course.
And the guy starting in front of him was already a star player on the NBA's radar, which led Jimmy to the biggest obstacle of his life. Jimmy panicked. He thought he would never get the playing time to prove himself. And well, he had to think fast. At the time, Marquette's starting guard was Wesley Matthews. And considering
I didn't even know that.
Wesley was an NBA prospect, Jimmy felt there was no way he could be better than Wesley, and began feeling his NBA dream slipping away. But see, Jimmy wasn't recruited to Marquette for no reason. Coach Buzz knew the potential Jimmy had and forced him to work harder than all of his teammates. At times, Jimmy was forced to show up for extra drills at 5:30 in the morning. The workout
5 a.m. Jimmy
pushed through were inhumane. But secretly, this was all a part of Coach Buzz's master plan to get Jimmy to the big league. He knew Jimmy's story and his goal of making the NBA, so Buzz wanted to be the reason he got there. But ironically, all that extra work nearly made Jimmy quit basketball.
Like, I was always like, I want to come home. I want to transfer, like, because he was so hard on me. Like, I was so far away from home. You know, homesick, I'm still a kid.
He wanted to go home because I was extremely difficult in coaching him, because I thought that he could evolve into being a guy towards the end of the year that could help us.
Jimmy didn't know it yet.
This about made me cry. I ain't gonna cap, bro. The waterworks, bro. I feel it, bro. Just like seeing how far he's come, bro.
But being pushed that hard was about to be his biggest blessing. Behind the scenes, he anxiously waited for an opportunity. But at the same time, Wesley was out there dominating, having the best season of his college career. So cause Wesley was on the rise, every single day, Jimmy was pushed to take his game to a whole new level. Until, later that year, Wesley made his way into the NBA, leaving Marquette with an open starting spot. Everybody at Marquette knew Jimmy was doing everything he could to become their next leader. And now, they blessed him with the opportunity. But even though his hard work finally paid off, deep down, Jimmy wasn't confident he could be the next Wesley Matthews. At the time, not a single NBA team even acknowledged Jimmy, so he only had 1 year to raise his draft stock. Otherwise, his dream would be over. And right on cue, that's when Wesley came back around and gave Jimmy some life-changing advice.
Wesley Matthews came back. I was like, yo, you can play in the league. I was like, word. And that's when I really started to take basketball for real, for real. Maybe I can be a pro at the highest level. Not Europe pro, nothing's wrong with that. But like the NBA, like that's where you want to be at. That's the best of the best.
Right after Jimmy was convinced he could make the NBA, he knew it was now or never. That season, he came out with a chip on his shoulder, hitting game-winning shots and putting up over 15 points a night. Jimmy even carried Marquette during March Madness, winning back-to-back games. But still, no matter what he accomplished, his goal was to go pro. So after his 2011 season, Jimmy took a leap of faith and declared for the NBA draft.
I don't even know.
But that's when things got scary.
Like,
Because
what?
everybody was finally gonna see if Jimmy's basketball career was over or just beginning.
Good evening and welcome to NBA Draft
I don't know where he
presented
got
by
drafted
State
at, so
Farm.
this is actually,
Let's
like,
get ready to
interesting for
welcome
me.
them to the NBA family.
The best
I don't even know
of the
if
best
he didn't
were
go
here.
undrafted,
All
right?
the country's top players from high
Look at
school
Klay Thompson,
and college hoped their
Kemba
dreams
Walker,
were about
Kawhi
to
Leonard,
come
all
true.
the-
So Jimmy
all the
knew he
goats.
had competition, but he still had faith that eventually his name would be called. And one by one, the picks came in.
The Cleveland Cavaliers select
Kyrie Irving.
The Charlotte Bobcats select
Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker. The Golden State Warriors select
Klay
Klay Thompson.
Thompson.
The Indiana Pacers
I don't know this
select
one.
Kawhi Leonard.
As
Why
teams
got
made their
drafted by Indiana?
selections, Jimmy's name was never called.
So he's
Most
undrafted?
teams saw him as a huge liability. After all, he wasn't a freak athlete, he wasn't fast, and he didn't throw down crazy highlights. So teams felt drafting him for what he could become was too risky. Nobody was willing to place that bet.
I didn't know Jimmy was
nobody
undrafted.
until...
Oh, I was about to say.
The 30th pick in the 2011 draft, the Chicago Bulls
The last
select
pick of the first
Jimmy
round.
Butler from Marquette University.
Like, I instantly burst out into tears with my mom because all the people that tell me that I wouldn't amount to anything, that I wouldn't get my degree, I wouldn't go to college, I couldn't be an NBA player. But more than anything, it was I proved myself right. I could care less about proving them wrong.
Now, with Jimmy officially becoming an NBA player,
That's
he
real.
realized just making the league actually wasn't the dream after all. It was just
gotta
a
be-
step
you
towards
wanna
an
be
even
great.
bigger goal. Jimmy understood that going from homeless to a professional athlete was a blessing. So now being in a position to accomplish greatness and having the power to motivate millions of people, he vowed to give basketball his everything and make it known to the entire world that anything is possible.
It's not enough for Jimmy Butler to be good. It's not enough for him to be an all-star. Jimmy Butler has greatness written all over him.
He has got that dog in him. Trust me, he is clutch closer on defense and offense.
He's as tough as they come.
He really went to that bubble with no haircut. Man, that's crazy. Hey, man, WV, man. Comment up below how this made y'all feel, man. Damn, it's like 3 times in this video. I ain't gonna cap. The waterworks almost started up, you know what I'm saying? I'm straight, though. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, tonight should be a good game. Game 7, Boston versus Heat. Man, I might just stream after that game because y'all know we hit 200 subs today. I don't even know when I'm going to post this. But, yeah, man. Make sure y'all like this video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, man. Yeah. It's your boy Kings A signing out, man. Peace.